program, working with the only pain person we have in the legislature, Tom Oliverson. So we're also rolling that out at the same time through that passage. You want to make a comment, Joe?
Yeah, let's say we promised on the front end, when we get rid of the bad stuff, we'll find a way to thread the needle for those that have found benefit in not this stuff. They're confused. But there is a cannabis line out there that does help people. So the Teacup program that's been around since 15 is now going to 12 locations. The Lieutenant Governor said, here's one big change. We increased the dosage to a 10 milligram level. So that's significant enough to address the pain that a lot of these people seek through that relief. We also add, as he said, added chronic pain. Chronic pain's a big shift. It's a big birth of potential people that probably at some level were taking some of these products at their own risk, self-medicating. You know, historically, Texas has never medicated through a gas station or a convenience store. So it's moving it to the proper area where it's prescribed, it's doctor monitored. In that program, we're going to go to those 12 licenses. We're going to push out satellite distribution centers. That's critical. Under the current program, I used the example in the previous, if someone in Lubbock needed this product under Teacup, they would have to have a physical driver take it from Austin to Lubbock. And if that person wasn't there when that person arrived in Lubbock, they would bring the product back. We're going to solve that by having satellite locations that actually store the product so that with prescript and when it's done, that person on the other end has something already there and they're not waiting and running the risk of missing it. So that reduces the cost. A large part of the cost of the Teacup program was the transportation issue. So the bill, we've addressed most of the cost factors. We're expanding supply, which brings down some of the cost. And we've given another layer of who can qualify underneath Teacup. So I think it's the relief we promised. To LightGov's credit, we did it responsibly, and he wanted to make sure we didn't open it up too wide to where people weren't going to get satisfied, but it will cover, I bet, 99% of the people that are in this market. So Texas does things big. Unfortunately, there was taking advantage of something that was bad that was big because we are big. We fixed that, but we're expanding the things that we believe are legitimate needs that can be met through a responsible delivery system. Medical cannabis does provide relief in certain instances. The key to that, it is regulated. And that's what we were missing in this other link. So we have moved forward in a responsible way as promised. And I think Lieutenant Governor's right. It will be the largest medical cannabis program, regulated medical cannabis program in the country, and probably the most well-designed. And I'm proud of that fact. And Representative Alderson had a big part of what does pain look like and how can we fix the pain that people seek. So we've got a good bill. 31-0 last night, I think, coming off the Senate floor. So that sends a strong message that people saw the need, we addressed the need, and we did it in a way where we had 31 votes off the Senate floor to get that bill moving.
And that's a clear message to our veterans. Not only are we doing the Ibogaine program, which was asked by some of our veterans like Marcus and Morgan Luttrell and others. We're doing this program, which our veterans, if they have cancer, PTSD, chronic pain, but it's going to be regulated to protect them. So we'll take questions, but I just want to close with this. It's seldom that you all write a story or broadcast a story that literally can save lives. So please ask your editors, your publishers, allow you to put photographs and video up of some of these products, because the average parent has not been in a smoke shop or a vape shop. They haven't seen this. If they saw it, they might think it's innocent candies from some local convenience store. They might think this cereal bites are innocent, but they need to know what's out there. And you alone in this room today, everything, even from these lollipops, you go into a bank sometimes, they have lollipops up there, if you have kids. These look just like those. I mean, I'm not saying the banks have them. My point is, my point is, you see lollipops. So what'd you know? You might go in the store and buy them and not even know that you're getting your kid high on drugs and hooked for life. So this is a place where you can really make a difference. The stories about jobs and mom and pop business. Look, this is all controlled by the drug industry in Colorado and California and elsewhere and out of the country. So they never dreamed we would ban it. They thought they had hit the gold mine in Texas. And I'm proud of the senators and the House members that stood up and said, you're not going to do this in Texas. You're not going to do it. So tell the story. Educate the public, because a lot of the public is still unsure of what this is all about. A lot of people never heard of THC. I was told by one of the staffers the other day, people in the Capitol didn't know what it was about, many. So help educate the public on this, because you will be saving lives. Any questions?
Are you worried about a veto? Veto?
I'm not. I pass bills, the governor signs or vetoes them. I know the governor, I know where his heart is, and I know where he wants to be to protect children and adults. Yes. Yes.
I'd love to ask, we're here on the last day that you can pass bills,
Yes.
and we're talking about bills that have already passed, as opposed to, say, some of the bail reform resolutions that don't look on track to pass in the House. Why focus on legislative battles that, for the most part, are already done?
Because there's a tremendous onslaught of pressure from an $8 billion industry that has unlimited money, and they're trying to poison the story to stop this from happening. That's why, because I can tell you how effective they are, because most of you in this room, no criticism personally, most of you in this room have bought into a lot of their story. Oh, it's going to cost jobs, it's going to impact the economy. It's an $8 billion industry. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? People are going to be hooked on drugs, having to go somewhere when all this goes off the shelves. You all have been, you're part of the problem, quite frankly, because you're not telling the story. So that's why we're here. And we're here because this never happens again. That's why we're here. So that everyone knows this story. So that the parents will rally, the superintendents will rally, the principals will rally, the communities will rally. You've already seen law enforcement, they've rallied to the cause. That's why we're here. There are a lot of bills that pass in there. They're important bills. But nothing is more important than stopping a kid getting a hold of this junk. Do you understand? Do you understand, really?
But how does it get stopped if it's passed? That's what the question.
Because we're going to ban it, and it's going to be because it's going to be banned.
How does the ban get stopped at this point? It's on the way to the governor.
Because the industry is doing everything they can to. I'm not worried about the governor. Okay. I'm worried about the pressure on the media and the general public to try to keep this going in some way and bring it back, or stay alive. Look, they're all going to file lawsuits. We know that's going to happen. These are bad actors. These are people who want to kill your kids, and they don't give a damn. So we'll fight this all the way. But that's why we're here today. This might be the most important bill we pass in this session.
I understand wanting to protect children, but you have grown adults who are using these products too.
Yeah.
Is there a way to do this where grown adults can still have access?
No, look, we don't want adults having this either. What are you, crazy? You want to go home and eat a bag of this tonight? See if you're here tomorrow? We focus on kids because that's where they built the shops, but adults are buying this stuff too. Make no mistake. We want to protect the 20 and the 30 and the 40 and the 50-year-olds too. We don't want anybody buying anything off the shelf that could kill them or ruin their mental state for the rest of their lives. The young man who was 22, who stepped in front of a train after he ate some of this junk, he wasn't a kid. He was an adult. That's crazy talk. That's the kind of talk, the reason why we're here. Media that would say something as stupid as that. I'm sorry, it's just true.
I hear you say those things.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you the opportunity to
Yes, sir.
I just want to ask about you've spoken about the safety
Yeah.
aspect of this. We are here already. It's
Yeah.
passed. You've mentioned you're not worried about the governor.
Yeah.
I just want to nail this down. Have you spoken with him? Was there a big
I speak with the governor every day.
about this.
Look, I'm not going to speak for the governor, okay? He will do what he's going to do. I have total confidence in the governor. You will know his decision when he makes it. The reason I'm here today is for you to tell the story. I'm not worried about the governor understanding it. I'm worried about you all understanding it.
Lieutenant Governor, can I kind of
Yeah, Rudy.
away from the governor to
Yeah.
the